Are you ready? I guess we are ready. We're live.
What's up?
Weekend Hangover
Ricky-Bobby here. Average old man club racer now, I guess, apparently. You can check me out at rbgmotorsports.com on Instagram. My man Dustin over here.
Yep. I'm Dustin from TrackDaz. We just got back from Laguna Seca. Epic weekend.
I know, dude. Can't wait to hear about it.
Oh, my God, dude. Laguna Seca on Labor Day weekend. Best time of year to be there.
Oh, man. And you had the high decibel, right? It was a 105 day?
Yeah, 105 decibels. Yeah. You know, it comes with a healthy price tag, too. It's Laguna, like everything, right? And the wife and I actually, Lily and I stayed in an Airbnb in Seaside.
Ooh.
And it turns out, like, the dude that owns the Airbnb, he's like, "Oh, pick up the keys at my grocery store." I'm like, what? He's got the guy's got a little tiny local grocery store in Seaside.
Sick.
And yeah,
that's
sick,
awesome.
Right?
That's awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then, Chili and I got to do bicycles, stuff. 17.
Yeah, so it was thanks to Chili for doing a little shout out on the
I know, right?
Did you?
Yeah, we're pedaling along, and he's like, "Dude, let me do a Weekend Hangover promo." I was like, "Fuck yeah, bro, let's do this shit."
It's all about it. That's awesome. Yeah, man, I was just hanging out, getting ready, prepping my bike for pit race this weekend. Super stoked with
what? You're finally gonna get to ride?
Finally, after all these episodes, I finally get to talk about it again. Yeah, headed up to pit race for Arma, and super excited. Weather Saturday looks a little, but Friday practice day, I'm all about it. You got the bike dialed. Talked to Chloe Larry from AIM, and she just validated what I had going on with my dash, and I finally got the GPS speed to pick up, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Did you put the Weekend Hangover logo
I
on
did.
Dash, you nerd?
I did.
Hilarious.
I did. I gotta pick up some other stuff, but yeah, it's super cool. You could just throw any logo on there. I started with Ben Smith's logo because that was the only one I had on my computer before I grabbed the Weekend Hangover. Ginny gave me a little bit of a rash for having the. She's like, "What are you fanboying?" I was like, "No. It's the only logo I had at the moment." So let me change it.
Let's be real, dude. You're fanboying. You like those?
I love my boy Ben, dude. I love my boy
Ben's wavy locks.
I told him he needs to grow it out a little bit longer. So, yeah,
dude. Yeah. Another thing, you gotta. I mean, I see her in the chat, dude. Our last episode, the Weekend Hangover, we had Al and on, right? And
did she get signal in the mountains? And she's in Montana. She's in Montana. She's got signal.
Al Garcia was one of our guests at the last episode. And he ended up making a bet with Chunky Buns in the comments. Yeah. Well, dude, like for whatever reason, I don't know if it was like the juju that was put out or whatever, but that dude smoked the weekend. And I think this is her first weekend she had to pay up, right?
Yeah.
She's like, the Spanish midget finally did it.
Finally, I know. Only took 12 rounds.
So rough.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think her and Al have already settled or whatever. I don't really know the details of any of that, but that's hilarious. I was just like, wow.
Well, speaking of Spanish midgets, I know somebody who likes Spanish midgets.
Okay.
Bring him in. No, bring him in.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Bring him in.
Somebody that likes Spanish midgets?
Not me.
Who's this guy, dude?
Actually, yes.
It's Tom Sykes' stunt double.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I've been accused of... I was actually accused at EICMA years ago of being the fat Tom Sykes, so thank you.
The fat Tom Sykes. Wow, that's rough, dude.
I'm over it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, Mr. Nate Kern, a.k.a. Mr. BMW himself. Thank you so much for joining, man. I know you've been busy doing all the cool stuff. Can't wait to hear about it. Can't wait for you to tell everybody about it. So
I'm digging
the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious.
Well, you know, I mean, every now and then, I just think that Naughty Vicious will bring our country back closer. And you know, you got Lindsay riding shotgun. We got Brittany in the middle, and Paris behind the wheel. So what could go wrong?
Right.
I mean, nothing. Clearly, nothing. Like that sounds like a good party. Like
That's
yeah, that's a message I could get behind.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for those that don't know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have 2 cats, but I'm secure. It doesn't bother me. And for sure, you know, 2 wheels have been a part of my life. And truly, I never anticipated, honestly, even riding a motorcycle. I rode my first bike at 20 years old. And it was really just real simple. I'll leave it at this. It's like, it was kind of an identity. I was driving by a bike night in Northern California. And I was like, it was like just an image. I was like, man, I got to be like these guys. Holy shit, there's chicks everywhere. They're doing stoppies. And I'm like, but I'm petrified because I don't know shit about bikes. And I'm just like, but for some reason, I was just drawn to this bike night. It took me, honestly, a couple months driving by to finally build up the fortitude to even walk amongst all these beasts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be one of these guys. And that was it. That's how I got out of fear, kind of motivated to get a sport bike and join these guys. And then once I did, I rode there on a 92 Katana 600 with like the salmon colored wheels and the purple, you know, stickers, and kind of made buddies with some of the guys there. Yeah, and they were just like, let's roll. I'm like, oh shit, I got to ride with you guys now. And that was it. That's how it all started. Yeah. So bikes have been a big part of my life. Never anticipated it turning into something that you know, I you know, not ashamed to use the term blessed. I mean, I pinch myself. I'd never, ever truly, to this day, every morning I wake up, figured that, hell, I'd even be on y'all's show. I mean, I'm just grateful for all the opportunity. And it's like my first season. Every year is like my first season. I just keep it awesome. Exciting. So yeah, with BMW, I'm grateful. I was fortunate to become part of the BMW family, to answer your question, Ricky-Bobby. But it's like the BMW Boxer Cup, when it came to the States for that opening round, you know, of its season, which Daytona was a support class for MotoGP, correct, at Daytona in 03 and 04.
Yeah.
It's like after Daytona, it went back to be a support class for MotoGP. So I'm just like, holy shit, wow. You know, and then they're like, well, would you like to come ride the rest of the rounds? And it wasn't that easy, but point is, my bike was shipped. My teammate at the time, which honestly, we weren't teammates, but he didn't realize Brain Patriot, the Germans called him because they couldn't pronounce his name. So Brian Perriott was affectionately referred to as Brain Patriot.
And Calistoga dude.
Yeah, no joke. So phenomenally talented rider. I know he really didn't want to share and show me too much, but he did. He really showed me how to get it done on track, and definitely not off track. So that's fine. So either way, I'm super pumped and thankful for that journey. That's where it started. And then from there, the Boxers were obviously my first introduction to BMW, and seemingly an unconventional bike, but it's kind of like a fat kid in gym class. Just, you know, give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like just, I was like,
you compared yourself to the fat kid in gym class, dude. Wow.
You know, it happens. So anyways, no, the bike, not me, the bike. But I was just like, I'm not choosing that kid. I want to win. And then I finally had a chance to ride one, and wow, it does things you never thought possible, truly. So you know, that's you know, my semi infomercial, like, hey, every dealer has one. Just try it out, even if you don't want to buy one. It's really an interesting, has so much character and soul. But anyways, from there, the digital aspect of my career kind of showed its head. I never anticipated, you know, starting obviously on GSXRs and starting on 4-cylinders, going to Boxers, shaft driven, air cooled. And then out of nowhere, the Germans, in a roundabout offhanded compliment, Dustin, if you know, put yourself in my helmet, they're like, you're not just a dumbass racer. You actually know how to articulate our product. I'm like, wow, okay, I'll take it. And then from there, yes, I was actually brought into the S1000 RR project 2 years before we even sold the bike. And it was basically an investment that the Germans made into their largest sports segment market in the world, the US. And they were like, hey, you're a caveman and you need to appeal to other cavemen. You've been with the brand a long time. You understand our culture. You understand our CI. And from there, again, just freaking pinching myself that, holy shit, I was given an opportunity to take the pre-production S1000 RR around the country on a pre-order tour because I was the only one that's ridden the bike at the time in the continental United States. So there you go. From there, it's just been such a wild ride to just what Ricky-Bobby knows 3 weeks ago. I had to keep under wraps, so it's just a wild ride, bro.
Wow. Yeah. I guess you get to ride with legends, right? Like Toprak, right?
Dude,
Toprak.
Dude, I'm telling you, after 3 days on track with him a few weeks ago, we did a private little something, and where a little bit of content capture that'll eventually come out, I think late October. But the point is, like within 30 minutes of knowing the cat, in the garage, just outside the helmet, what a very genuine, truly genuine and humble human being. Like I not that I anticipated less, but I really didn't anticipate that much, and he's equally as great a human being as he is a rider. And that's it. Within 30 minutes, we're in our suits because there's a whole thing that we had to do. And I'm not saying I'm in old head nurture mode, but Ricky-Bobby knows, like, my way of giving back to our industry, same with yourself with TrackDaz. Like we need to grow the sport by keeping people off the ground and enhancing lives. And I was in that mode because I found out that he and Mikey Vandermark had never seen the Andalusia circuit, which is the second circuit in Almeria. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll show you around for a lap or two, since I got like 2,000 laps around there and testing. Bro, they just rolled right out. And I'm like, okay, then you don't have to wait for me. So I rolled in behind them, charging corners. And I understand that mindset, obviously at a little bit, quite a bit slower pace, but meaning when I ran new tracks in the Boxer Cup in Europe, or when especially my last opportunity to race in Europe in 2019, basically, you run it in super deep. If it barely sticks, back it down and you're up to speed, and that was their approach. Wow. So it's like, it was nice to see that somebody else took that approach, but they took it to like times 10. It's the desert, just like the previous race this past weekend. It's the desert. Offline is offline. There's little rooster tails about yay big that come off the front tire when they're sideways crossed up, and not just the rear. So ultimately, I could see him charging corners, coupling it up, getting it saved, charging the next one. And by turn 6 on the outlap, Dustin and Ricky, Bobby, I was literally, dude, I'm at like 70% pace, and I have many, many laps around there. So the way Toprak approached getting onto the back straightaway, I said, man, if he does that again next lap, cool. I don't know. I get a chance to finally ride with old boy. So he does it. I line it up just right. And as he gets it all coupled up off the rumble strip, we're bar to bar. And I'm just like, I just kind of look over. I'm like, dude, this is really happening. Holy shit. And the 200-meter marker's coming up. It's downhill, just a little bit downhill from 5th to 2nd gear. But the 180 turn at the back, off the back straightaway, is the dirtiest, most treacherous part of the track, because of the runoff, if there is rain or just, again, dust buildup. So I just start to roll out of it. He stays in it for another 20 meters. And next thing you know, the rear lifts like we see on TV for seasons. And I'm like, dude, this is happening in front of me. And my shit's still, it's going from a 4-stroke to a 2-stroke, because I got to remember to backshift because I'm watching this. And I see his left heel. He gets 2 downshifts out before he sets it down. And this is his second lap ever around this place. He sets it down. And I'm like, man, I'm going to witness this dude just wad himself up as the current world championship leader for the family and the brand that I love. And nope, never saw him again. That was it. Yeah. So there you go. That's my Toprak story. But again, we hit it off because
worth every penny, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I know my roots, man, and a redneck knows a redneck, and man, he's a Turkish redneck, and he's just a humble, cool dude. He's disciplined, loves his family.
I think that sounds like a new T-shirt design.
Yeah.
But dude, he shoots quite a bit too, recreationally, right? No hunting or anything, but the discipline that it takes to run a gun professionally and proficiently really does have a lot of parallels. Shooting and riding have the same parallels, meaning you can enter as fast, you can run wide as fast as you enter a corner, and you can miss as fast as you shoot. So it's like when you find that balance and the crossover, watching him, he shared with me some of the training videos he's done. I'm like, bro, you could quit motorcycling and he would easily, Bobby, finish in the top 5 in the national championship. He's that good.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
So moving on, it was just a great experience. Sorry guys for long-winded.
Awesome. No, you're good, dude.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're the guest, bro. Like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Want to ask you if you watched any of that GP stuff from this past weekend.
Does a hobby horse have a wooden? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, bro. I mean, dude. First off, you're right. Marquez is definitely shorter than his brother Alex, but I will tell you, for me to say that I'm into short Spaniards, it's I'm super pumped and happy that he was able, considering the injuries. We all know he could have retired 3 times over, and
100%.
and man, for him to go out on such a dirty track, knowing again whether it's injuries in the back of his mind, which is realistic for all of us as humans, though, where he's subhuman in a way. So yes, the whole weekend was already prefaced from Moto3 all the way up with dirty track, torrential rain. Again, I've been beyond fortunate to have a lot of time in Spain, so the tracks are super dirty offline. But yeah, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't watch Moto2 or Moto3. I've been kind of busy.
Yeah.
I did watch the sprint race, and I was at Laguna
Seca.
I was at Laguna.
Airbnb.
Look, you guys. No, but seriously, like I did make sure to watch the GP race. I mean, everybody saw the shot fired. That was the whole. Yeah.
So Dustin, all I can say is I definitely am with you. I didn't watch Moto3, but one thing that I did see going into the Moto2 race and just the feel, there was such a feel for some reason about this one. I'm going to tell you again, it's not just the whole bromance with Toprak and having track time together, no, and being rednecks. But the point is, it comes down to, I truly feel Kenan Sofuoglu is the Turkish VR46 Academy. When you look at Ancu, 100%. When you look at Ancu, and when you look at see his face, yes, on the MV.
Oh yeah.
And World Supersport also.
Yeah, his cousin,
another Sofuoglu. Yeah. So, well, I'm going to do MythBusters. Kenan and Toprak are not blood related.
No, I meant not Wrath.
I hear what you're saying, but it is another Sofuoglu. Yeah. So, but the point is, just a lot of folks are like, "Oh, that's Kenan's uncle." No, it's not. Because I was the dipshit that asked, and they were like, "Oh, nope." So I made that. I did it for all of us. All right, and found out real quick. So, anyways, it was a little sword, so we're good. But yeah, man, when it comes down to just watching and seeing, we're talking 3-4 world level riders that not only has he identified, he's like the Simon Cowell of Turkey, right?
The Hatton Sofuoglu.
Yeah, dude. He has such a unique ability to give the mindset that allowed him to be multi-time, 5-time World Supersport champion.
Yeah. Right.
So one thing that I see that he's handing down isn't just the fundamentals, but really the mental ability. And, physically, I feel that they can make, kind of like a lot of our tier 1 and tier 2 training, right, Bobby, that you and I've talked about in the past with our military, like they'll get candidates that are physically, they're beasts, but they're not mentally strong. You know what I'm saying? So for him to train these guys to truly understand a next level mental approach to racing, I saw that in Anshu in the Moto2 race. And even before his post-race interview, he's not happy with third. It was his first podium in his rookie season, and he was not jumping up and down because he kind of has that Barry Sanders. Yeah, he has that Barry Sanders approach where he's like, I'll be back. Watch this, you know? So I was super pumped. Jake Dixon is what it is, man. I mean, he's funny, obviously. He's entertaining, which a lot of the Brits, you know, and Australians are, but he found that fire again, which is easier said than done.
Well, he's been smashed quite a bit, right? And
bro.
he chewed up and spat out, sure. And comes back in, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to work through all that WP suspension swap over at the beginning of the year, and I've talked about that a couple times. And he finally, the Calyx with the WP is lit right now, and with him on it, dude, he is crushing it. And then the Boscus Gurus are falling off because Sergio Garcia was nowhere to be found. He ended up pulling in, and then Ayagura couldn't qualify on the dirty track, and he made it up there. He made it up there pretty far, you know. And Joe was still ahead of him until he crashed out, sadly. But
no, for sure. I mean, that brings up a pretty cliche point that we all like to use when it comes to the elements, right? And that is they're the same for everybody. You know what I'm saying? They just are. And to say that the track's dirtier for another rider or a different suspension or a different compound choice or chassis, at the end of the day, there's just something about the elements that Dustin, you know, Bobby, you know, that, okay, as we're coming up, especially in the regional, you know, like we're a CCS, there's guys that I've never seen before except their name on a grid sheet, but when it rains, who the hell are you, dude? Like all of a sudden we got some cats running up front. I'm like, dude, did you not know it's slick? You know what I'm saying? Or did you not know? And I'm like, next thing you know, like a dimmer dial, you get confidence and trust and you start winding up. And the next thing you know, you catch them. But out of the gate, they're just like this, where there's just some riders, and even at the world level, they're like dirty track, you know? I missed the memo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Marquez.
There's riders that we know that love bumpy, shitty, you know, fucked up racetracks, and they suck at brand new pavement Gucci tracks, right?
Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, to wrap up Moto2, man, you know, listen, Joe's put in the time, and for sure, you know, again, another cliche comment, but it's like, this is what we're doing. We're armchair racing, and we're enjoying the sport. We're sharing with each other. But also, Joe, I think what pained me the most was it was his teammate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw more that it was the last lap. If you had to prioritize it, it's the last lap. You're 21 points down in a championship, and it's your teammate that you went on the dirtiest part of the track to pass. So it's like, again, we're not in his helmet. He made the decision. He definitely a FAFO moment, right? He found out, and I'm glad he didn't get hurt. I'm glad he gets to race again. That's the most important aspect. But man, it's kind of a double negative last lap in your teammate, and you're third in the championship, and you're running fifth or sixth at that time.
He was
I think
sixth. Sixth or no, he was like seventh or eighth. It was seventh or eighth.
Am I crazy to think didn't he get a penalty?
He got a long lap penalty.
He got a long lap because he decided to say, "Hey, Vietti, can you hear? Not hear. I'm sorry, but can you feel my brake lever through your leathers?" You know, and the slow mo of it, actually not even slow mo, just the replay of it was, wow. It was. He got lucky that brake lever didn't get fully pressed in, because he would have actually taken Vietti out. But if you rewatch it, the camera angle, he had millimeters away from that brake lever, just sending him into an endo and taking out Vietti. So again, I'm glad he's okay, dude. We've all, in hindsight, made some poor decisions, and moving on.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, before we go GP, I mean, can we talk about rookies?
Yeah. Do your Christian Daniel thing.
Yeah, dude.
Educate me.
So Christian Daniel, everybody knows. He's the American kid in the GP Rookies Cup thing, right? So he had a little bit of trouble the first race. He crashes. They restarted him from pit lane, like they do. So the kid, I think, ends up 17th in that one. So that was kind of shit. And the weather, is shit, right? Like they wouldn't shut up about how dirty it was and how it, whatever, right? But race 2, dude, the kid goes out. He's like battling for 4th, crashes with 8 laps to go, picks the thing up. He's in 16th. He goes, smashes everybody, and gets back up to 5th.
Damn.
In the rain and all that. Son. Like dude, it was fucking chaos.
Awesome.
So,
good on Christian, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like he's like, the little stuff. This is the stuff the kid says, right? He's like, conditions were crazy because of the dirt and the dirty track and the rain. He said he felt so good and he wasn't taking too much risks. But there was a newer patch of asphalt that was pretty slippery, and that's what he crashed on. And he said he got back on and saw there was enough laps left and just put his head down. I mean, that's
awesome.
Summary.
That's grit.
These 3 approve because they can identify with dirty and track. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of rain.
Yeah, dude.
A slick, a little bit of banging into each other.
Yeah.
But reality, all I'm saying is it's refreshing to see a young American at that level that he can be truly mentored and nurtured and just a good investment,
Yeah.
And the mentality, what you just talked about, the mentality.
Yeah. Like he saw there was enough last lap. And what you said, the announcer said, wow, an American GP star in the making.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
You don't really hear shit like that very often from those people.
Well, it's refreshing. It's refreshing also. I mean, again, we're not going to go down a rabbit hole of different generations and I think lack of certain perspectives. But that kid, whoever his parents are, don't know him, but I got to give him some kudos, man.
Oh, dude, Christian Senior is a good dude. Like they're
nice.
And the fact that they decided to just pull up stakes and move to Spain so the kid would have a better opportunity to go racing. That says a lot about the parents and, and the wife, like, yeah, let's uproot our whole family and sell everything and move to Spain. Like that's huge. So
yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well,
GP. Woo.
So something I noticed right off the rip, which was very interesting, that I kind of wanted to bring up was I'm starting to notice, just like Moto2, a lot more white front wheels. I picked this up, white front wheels.
Really?
Yeah. The Ducatis, the 224s had white front wheels, just like Jake Dixon's CF Moto bike has a white front wheel.
Oh. Yeah. And since you pointed that out, I noticed a couple other random teams too. It's obviously not across the grid, but I was trying to piece it together and again, being beyond fortunate to just just like you all get a chance to meet and share information with some interesting folks overseas. I will tell you, meaning in the industry, I was just like, I don't know, maybe it's like a weird thing. I'm not saying they're swingers, but like, they have like this thing where they leave a pineapple out. I didn't know anything about that. So maybe the white front wheel. I'm just saying, like, maybe the white front wheel is just like,
okay.
Like, hey, I have a white front wheel, and so do you.
Wow.
So I don't know. All right, my bad. I went there.
I mean, dude, in motorbike so basically the theory is that
oh yeah, there you go.
Don't judge.
You got white front
No,
wheel
I have
too.
I have two front white. So no, the white front, you have to have a rear to say, hey, no, I'm not into that.
Okay.
So,
okay.
All right, cool. Just letting you know. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the white front wheel is sort of like the upside down pineapple.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, moving on. I just went there. I thought we would just have a little fun with it. Let's not.
Yeah,
that's a t-shirt.
But go ahead.
I'm honestly
thinking there's upside down pineapple.
I know Chip Spalding is a big fan of white's front wheels, so
you know what? Hey.
Wow. So dude. I'm kind of thinking that they're trying to keep the front wheel temp down. That's just me. Because they're so sensitive now. They're so sensitive to the temperature in the front wheel that any sunlight directly hitting those black wheels, even though they got these gigantic rotors that are covering the wheel that are, I'm just thinking that they're trying to keep like a couple degrees less and to keep that pressure down just enough. I don't know.
You are way smarter than you look. I truly, I'm on that train with you since you said that, because let's just call it, we see it like heat absorption, and
that
so yeah, no, I like that. I like where your
math's kind of adding up on that, dude.
Yeah,
the mathin' is math, or math is mathin'.
Not that I'm any good at math, but it sounds legit.
Yeah.
All it takes is a few degrees. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, a few degrees, and it's like a bar or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anywho, another story was the green track that showed up on Saturday, because they were all ripping on Friday, breaking lap records. The Aprilias were up there, and then, as you say, some guys just don't do well, and they just can't wrap their head around dirty tracks. Well, the Aprilias, they were nowhere to be found after that, man. They were lost. That was wild.
What about that number one guy?
That too.
He's kind of sucked all weekend, didn't he?
No, he didn't suck in the time because he was third fastest. He got stuck on the wrong side of the track, because I saw that bike just kick over. I was like, oh, this is bad. Twice.
Yeah, and obviously with the Leish, and I think it was one of the KTMs too. But reality is, again, dirty track for everybody, dirtier on certain parts of the track, and especially when you start talking about the front straightaway for the start. But also when you start piecing together how many lefts versus rights, and the amount of temperature I feel that the front loses on the right side of the tire, considering you're coming down that long back straightaway, right? The right side of the tire definitely loses more than the left, because it's a left onto the straightaway, and then it's a left off, a long left off that actually climbs back uphill, and then turn one's a left-hander. So turn two, when you start thinking about the tire temps and that front end feel, where you saw right off the start, quite a few riders, even Joe Roberts, and now granted it was a little bit of an incident with another rider, but the point is that little bit of I would say common sense, but a little bit of intimidation with knowing that right might not have the grip necessary. So that's just one thing that I noticed big time was turn two, the amount of riders kind of running a little wide,
Yeah.
But Pecco, yeah, man, let's just old Pecorino. Let's weekend. Call it how we see it.
Right?
No, and
he had pace in the race. He did have pace in the race.
And that's why obviously he's a two-time champion. But man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, let's just, if you don't mind, let's just get down to it. Like, I'm pumped for Jorge. I'll come out and say it, because I'm not a big social media, like I'm not big into I guess Aaron, what I think on chat rooms and threads, but I really would like to see Jorge take that number one plate with him.
Me too.
you know, and for sure, watching the amount of mechanical grip, lateral grip that the 24 has over the 23 all season, the way that that 24 GP Ducati gets a GP 24, right, gets off the corner. Right. And you know it's coming. You know it's coming. And Mark knows it's coming. Jorge, wait a minute. The pre-Mac, Jorge's on a 24, right?
Yep. He's on 24.
So again, happy for him. I'm still a little bitter from Sachsenring with 2 laps to go, but either way, happy for Jorge to really show riding like a champion. Could he have tried to push a little more to stay with Mark? Dude, he's in the championship lead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really happy to see the maturity there.
Yeah.
But Alex has come along
in the race, not the sprint race, but in the race, it looked like he was running him down initially, and then he, I don't know, like it looked like something switched mid race, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna take second.
Exactly.
And that's not usually that guy's MO. Usually he'll send it into the scenery, right?
Yep. And he's like, it might be just a little too dirty for this pace, and there might be there's just so many variables that I'm proud to see him just take that champion, step and attitude. But Alex as a tail gunner, he's riding his ass off. Is he Mark? Anybody can argue that obviously he hasn't won 8 world championships, but dude, straight up, if you don't mind, I'll just get right to it. I believe the incident with Alex and Pecco, okay? Yes, he ran a little wide. Whatever the data shows, whatever percentage of throttle, the point is Pecco, for brief moments, outside of his periphery, offline. Does that make sense? Even though Alex, to say, no, he's not offline, Alex went offline. Yes, he went offline, which leads you onto the line for the next right-hander because it was a switchback. It was a left-right. So reality is Pecco had the pace. He showed that he had the pace. He was in the 48s. Alex is running mid-49s. And, again, it's easy for us to sit here and say it, but after watching it so many times and thinking about the mindset, neither one of them are paid to be, I got to use clean words for your show.
Complacent.
But
they're not laying up.
Oh, that's a strong C word, complacent.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are being paid to have less fortitude. So reality is, that's as nice as I can put it. Reality is for Pecco to come back across on the line and assume that he's not there. I think for him to just say, all right, let him couple it up, let him get back on, because man, I'm 3/4 of a second a lap faster, at times, or even half second faster. So so is it a racing incident? To say that I would say it's like, to me, it's 60-40, maybe 70-30 in favor of Pecco's potential. I'm going to say poor judgment, but his action versus the action of Alex, excuse me. So, but yeah, and that's not just being a Marquez fan. That's just calling it how I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like you've seen that move at TrackDaz even, right? Like the dude gets by, but he doesn't get all the way by, but he thinks he's gotten by and moves over. That's, I mean, but then again, like there are these two worlds. They're like beasts. They're aliens, dude. Like
they're not paid to slow up. They're not paid to slow up.
Give up.
No, and I think it's just a gift at the wrong place. I think that's what it really boils down to. He was gifted that overpass, or he was gifted the overtake in the wrong place, because him going, if it was longer to the next corner, he would have already been by him, because he had the acceleration through the corner and Alex had to get on. But because it was such a slow corner coming off, and then he was able to kind of cut right, it's too short of a distance. So of course Alex is going to be there. So
and that switchback, it's a little downhill also. And again, by that time, we're not going to even go back to what I said about the right side of the tire. By that time in the lap, for sure, even though Aragon is not a track I've been fortunate to ride so many laps around tracks in Spain. But I will tell you, again, neither of them got hurt, which is the most important thing here. And if somebody did get hurt, and couldn't continue the season, then it would be way more heated. So right now, it's just kind of hopefully everybody keeping it just fun, friendly banter, because there was no serious injury.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just one of those things. It's just a racing incident.
Dude, it was amazing to me that neither of them were injured. Because dude, did you see
Checo got ran over?
I was like,
dude, the foot peg. The foot peg. I was waiting for that foot peg, man. So anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it wasn't an attack foot peg because that would have just destroyed his side.
Oh, stop.
Ground meat, man.
Attack makes the best shit.
Dude, but it's like, it's like a meat grinder, man. I can't bump into my bike.
Dude. Listen, bro. All I gotta say is evil technologies. Evil tech.
Nope.
They don't puncture.
No, they just break off in your hand without crashing.
All right. I was just waiting for that. All right. Well, anyways.
Because that's true, huh?
Well, no, I'm fortunate not to find that out yet. So
okay.
Hopefully never. Hopefully never.
You.
Yes, sir. Hopefully never.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased as fuck. So like I'm an attack guy.
Good.
Wow, man. That's hilarious. But like both of those guys, I mean, obviously Pecco took the ride underneath Marquez's bike and his own for a little bit, but then I think at the end what we were forgetting to talk about is how Marquez got catapulted forward at the end, and that looked gnarly as shit, dude. The guy just got launched.
For sure. And then think about, they're both on their feet and minimal gestures.
Yeah.
Minimal, like, hey, you want to eat too when they do this? It's like, no, they're not talking about eating. They're like, well, they're trucker,
Marquez
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
they get filled up.
Yeah.
Right. And then naturally, dude, let's call it how we see it. The panning of the cameras to Gigi and Tardazzi.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. It's just it's very it's very, I don't know. Obviously emotional. I mean, there's big money at stake, but truly, man, it just has that whole like soccer, or they call it football. But it's just you got to admit and you've been to GP races, right? In Europe. Either of you?
No.
Bro. All I gotta say is hearing the Marquez, right? Stadium section. You know what I'm saying? The bleacher section for Marquez. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I was beyond fortunate to be a part of that first boxer it was the second year that I ran the Boxer Cup, first time to Valencia. And if you're gonna go to any GP race, man, Valencia should be high on your list because wherever you sit, you can see about 80% of the lap from wherever you sit. It's kind of in a stadium, it feels like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And and it was one of the only races of the whole season that, again, Boxer Cup was a support class for MotoGP. So you're just like, wow, they're actually going to let us run before GP. We're usually we're the last race.
GP.
Yeah. Oh, not even. Yeah. I wish we were the baggers at GP, right? We're like another class. So anyways, the point is
BTR.
Wow. You guys are the BTR.
Now all right. So
that's fucked.
Gentlemen. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Off the start, there were 40 identically prepared BMW boxers, right? And as we come into turn one, where it's just grandstands all the way around, literally, I couldn't hear the bikes over the crowd. It was this roar and this wave. And I'm like, bro, we're the sideshow. Like, why would you be losing your shit over us? Save your energy and air for obviously the aliens, right? That's how passionate they are.
Wow.
And I can't even begin to tell you how phenomenal GP is and even World Superbike with the European crowds, especially Spain, bro. When you get out of when you walk out of the jetway into the gate area, and they're like, I remember Sete Gibernau was for Telefonica, and I'm like, bro, like he could run for office. I mean, he's a national hero, So I can't say enough. If anybody listening or you guys have an opportunity to go watch a GP race, man, I highly recommend Valencia.
Noted.
I almost got to go. My buddy just got engaged and was like, sorry, bro, he won from Liqui the Valencia like GP package for the dealers or whatever. And he was like, man, I just got engaged. I got to take my girl. I'm like, oh, you tell me now. And then they end up getting divorced like 2 years later. He was like, I should have taken you.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly, dude. I was waiting for that punchline. Yeah. Damn.
Anywho, well, yeah, the kid did great. I got to admit it. The guy crushed the weekend on that 23 bike and just showed him what.
Absolutely.
But it was like,
did he give him the shit? Did he give him a bump early?
I just think he had that counterclockwise juju, the good juju from counterclockwise tracks. He loves left-hand corners.
True story.
Yep. And he is really good at Aragon, and he's finally on a bike he could actually ride again, aside from that junker Honda that he was riding the last couple of years.
And the HON down.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I got some comments coming in. If you want to go to some of those.
Hey man, I will be happy to jump on that Royal Enfield, Mr. Cross. David Cross, the comedian? Is that David Cross, the comedian?
I don't know. Okay, so Smith Shot asks if I'm hosting another day at Laguna next year. That's the plan, dude. Stay tuned.
Man, let me know. Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And then let's see here. There's some more. Oh, people talking about how they finally got Andrew Truxell says he finally got Ben Smith's shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
I
he got it.
I got mine yet. I don't know.
Yeah,
must be in the mail.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Oh,
you didn't text me your address. That's what your problem was.
Dude, you've sent me shit before. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, I gotta go look then.
Yeah,
I sent you a box. That's right,
Nate. This is the level of professionalism we have on this show.
I feel at home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then Cody Krager's saying about Marquez doing better on counterclockwise tracks, and nearly no one had good data, apparently, because the track conditions were so inconsistent. Well, that's the same for everybody, right?
They didn't race there last year either, right? They didn't race there last year, apparently.
No, you're right. It was Superbike.
Yeah.
And then John Righty saying that you're a Boxer Cup legend. And I don't know if did you ride in the 03 Daytona thing?
I did. And that was my very first time. I won't go into the deep, crazy story, but the reality is, again, I'm just kind of like, okay, I was fortunate to have a good enough first season racing in 02. Spent one weekend as an amateur and things kind of still, I still can't believe it was a blur. Yeah, it was just a blur. And then Kevin Elliott, God rest his soul, and Phil Smyrna wrote a nice letter just saying, hey, he achieved enough points in a short period of time. So something about an FIM license and just being able the opportunity to race Boxer Cup after one season of racing. And all I know, dude, is there's like shit sticking out, which I affectionately now refer to as jugs, like the cylinder heads stick out sideways. There's a shaft drive, and I'm like, man, and then but everybody's on the same bike, right? Just like a dirty track.
Yeah.
So a bunch of I wouldn't say rejects from Europe, but people I don't know. Oh, did I find out quick? Holy shit, were these dudes fast and unbelievably fast, and damn it, man, I like spec racing because you really get to we're on the exact same bikes. Same elements, same conditions, same tires. How are you 2 seconds a lap faster? And that's where you really have to, get that periphery wider and stop letting shit rent space in your head in regards to anything other than how are they doing it? Not this. There's a lot of riders that are like, well, he's faster.
Because
no, to me, it's like this. It's like I'm embracing, like, hey, how are you doing this? And they might not want to share with you. So just watch and learn and really, really look at the fundamentals, not just line selection, but truly, I mean, there is body position. There's audible aspects to how they pick up the throttle and how there's no geometry change. I'm just like, dude, I'm not even thinking gas there. And it's not on the gas. It's just on the gas early. And it's unbelievable to watch somebody on the same bike do something better. So any which way, longer story short, I almost missed the first practice because the dealership that I was very fortunate to have the sponsorship from, they bought the bike off of eBay and they got it prepped. But it is bike week, and they were definitely hammered. I mean, they could have still blown like a point whatever as they brought the bike to the track that morning. I mean, literally, like no joke. Everybody's pro teams, Boxer Cup teams and Spanish champions and Italian champions, and then my guys come rolling in, and they're like, pressure. Who cares about pressure here? It's got gas in it. So, anyways, I rolled out there, and you talk about getting thrown in the deep end, but can't say enough about that experience. Made up the most positions of anybody in the race because I qualified. Dude, I qualified like 38th out of like 50. But I went from, and usually in a spec class, you tend to kind of finish close to where you qualify, right? Because that's just what of the craft at the time and the bike and the setup. But dude, we went from like 38th to 16th, right? And then I didn't realize, and I learned real quick, that exit of the chicane, if the dirt moves and that pothole's there, there's a reason why you try to wheelie over it. But I mistimed the wheelie, and I sat the front wheel down in it, and it went lock to lock all the way almost up to the banking. I got back in it in my little 4-bike battle that I was in. And I think it was Ricky Orlando, one of those old
Ricky
Orlando. Right? Yeah, how you doing? Man. Yeah, that's like a Jordache jean commercial, dude, right? So, anyways, straight up, all I know is that he was super denim on denim. But the point is, as I get the draft back on him and I come down to turn 1, whoop, right to the handlebar. There was no front brakes, and I don't know why, except for I figured out later. They educated me on tank slappers separating the pistons and the calipers. So I'm just pumping as fast as I can, downshifting and standing on the rear brake all the way up to obviously into the trial or the paved NASCAR section.
Yeah.
And just lofted it perfectly. If I had to do it again, I probably couldn't. But I just stood on the rear brake all the way and just turned it just right and just lofted up against the I think it was air fence at the time. Yeah, man, that's how old we are that we don't even know if it was air fence or not. But anyways, yeah. So there you go. We had a restart, and I got to start in 16th, and again, I went from 16th back to 24th, back to 16th. So it's like, again, I shared that just because it's such a crazy learning curve. When you just get thrown into something.
My wife and I stood out there, like at the bottom of the tri-oval, to where you guys are like on the banking. We stood at the bottom of that and watched, and you could hear the jugs smashing against each other as they were along the side. I was like, God damn, you guys are crazy.
Well, no, the crazy one was and I think we're all old enough, maybe not you, Ricky-Bobby, but World Supersport. Remember when the R6 first came out?
Yeah.
Jörg Torkert and Kellner, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had this crazy German or Austrian, Thomas Hinterreiter. I was battling with him. Well, I don't know who the cat is until I Googled some shit. And next thing you know, on the cool down lap, he's way up top on the banking, which you can see his belly under the belly pan and the left side of the tire. And I'm just like, bro, it's a cool down lap. What are you doing way up there? And he's trying to drag the right cylinder head up against the wall so that he could say that he did. I'm like, dude, do we drug test? You know what I'm saying? Like who wants to drag their motor up against the wall just to say they did? And that's the mentality of the guys we were running against. Yeah. So cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious, dude. Let's see here. David Cross talking about you riding the Hooter Suzuki.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no, for sure.
He said he was pitted next to you a few times at Summit Point.
Dude, Summit, man, I hope they don't close that down. I think it's still operational, but
it is.
Wow, what a facility though, in a racetrack that again, think about even the little one behind you that I thought was a local go-kart track. Like think about the VIR behind here and think about just how many days of your life were so enhanced at these tracks, and for him to even bring up Summit Point and especially Hooters, wow. The Hooters Suzuki opportunity, I'll just leave it at this. Steve DeCamp took a chance, and I can't thank him enough. And
What a character!
And Mike Godin. Mike Godin was, man, we both kind of started at the same time. So big thank you to Mike Godin for just putting up with me, man. I had hair at the time and I was bleaching that shit. And like, I look back at just how ate up, I was in regards to like just being young and dumb. And next thing you know, you get people like Godin, you get people like Steve DeCamp and other great people in the industry that actually take the time and want to help you. And that's where I feel that's where we all need to be right now. If we truly love it as much as we say we do, and show that we do by giving back, and it might be in a small form to us, but it's huge to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Joel.
sorry, I got all mushy.
No, it's all good, dude.
Apologize. Say whatever you gotta say, bro.
Yeah.
Joel RN wants us to talk about Honda and Yamaha and their current development and how it might influence the next model bike.
Oh, for the 2027 bike or whatever.
Right.
Well, once Aleix gets there, that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we to ever say that their current test riders aren't? I mean, dude, I'm sorry, but what's his old Stefan Bradl will smoke any of us on his worst day. But reality is, look at what Danny Pedrosa has done to KTM. You know what I'm saying? Look at top 5 guys that are. Man, we got such a good batch of riders coming up, and I think the next few seasons in retirement that will really give back to the 27 development.
Yeah, no, I wholly agree with you on that because, look what Aleix did to the Aprilia. Like that's him. He did all that. Not Lorenzo. None of the other people that wrote it. Not Jorge Lorenzo Salvadori.
Right.
And then, like you said, Stefan Bradl, because who else did they have on that bike? They got a couple of the Japanese guys, and then Yamaha's got Cal Crutchlow. Yeah. He's not slow, but he's also like he just left Honda's and then went over to this Yamaha thing, and he's trying to ride it. It's just hard.
Yeah,
I think Aleix will be really good for him, and Honda needs somebody because they had Casey Stoner for a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
Casey Stoner.
Yeah, unbelievable talent. Which again, they're all super talented. I mean, I've seen Salvadori. Listen, they're all unbelievably talented. But true story. You get a Pedrosa caliber rider, you're going to get those results.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Apparently, Cody Krager says apparently the Yamaha's 26 chassis could possibly be the one intended for the 27 rule set to get a head start.
That would be smart. That would be smart.
Yeah,
that would be real smart.
Just continue. I like right off until the new rules package. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, you got to think there's no point in investing anymore. I mean, Ducati, like, I know that they had putting a freeze next year, and that's it. And then write it out, and then you guys spend all your money, and we'll just run the same bikes all for the next 2 seasons, and then we'll start over. So, because why develop it for what like the championship's going to be like? All right, who's the one willing to spend money and develop a bike at the same time?
Yeah, what an amazing reset that's coming. I mean, dude, truly, just in regards to, let's call it how we see it, the simplest reset: launch control. I mean, to go back to a left hand, that is exciting.
I was going to ask about that anyway. Like, what do you think of them getting rid of some of the transformer shit and going back to motorbikes?
We're going to start seeing some riders that you don't usually speak about, probably, or maybe at all versus highly.
You think so?
You're going to start seeing some, absolutely. Because
you think the guys in the front now may not be the same guys?
Yes, I truly believe that there's going to be some riders that are still in that median zone of being old school, that knew what it's like to come from bikes that didn't have a lot of the nannies. If you start thinking about how long Brad Binder's been at the world level, I mean, we're talking, I think, like 14 seasons or something. you know, and coming from, 250s, and actually having to use that left hand more than, or left lever, more than twice to start and stop. So I truly believe, especially again, having just such a unique opportunity and a special opportunity to speak with some guys at the world level, especially on the BMW side, World Superbike side, when they tell me about the past, about Ruben Chaus, about Corser, and about how each rider had their strengths and weaknesses, and Haslam and this and this and this and Chaz. So long story short, there were some riders that could never, I just cannot say it. Chaus never could understand, according to them, okay, the evolution of electronics. You know what I'm saying? And when electronics weren't a big factor, dude, you saw him. He was a maniac and running right up in there. But as they evolved, where Corser was a rare beast, because to say that he was, older than dirt at that time, no. I mean, he honestly, dude, he's got more talent in the dirt under his nails than all of us combined. I've ridden with the guy many times, and unbelievable for him to have that ability to evolve with electronics, but still have that unbelievable old school talent. And he said, Corser said this, I'll just get to the freaking point here. He's like, you take away electronics, you are going to see riders like Chaus, like Haslam, that just couldn't grasp that next level of comprehension. You could even give them the data, you can give them the freaking setup, and they just couldn't maximize. So yes, I believe that in 27 we're going to see some riders. I think one of the biggest underrated talents out there that proves to us every time, whether he's on the Suzuki or whatever he rides, but Rins, I'm telling you right now, Rins is still capable. We just need to see him.
I think so too. I mean, bike. That dude was right there. He was in the front before.
Yeah. His crew chief was amazing. His crew chief was unbelievable, obviously, with Davide,
Well, Cody Krager is saying, and I think I read this, Casey Stoner was saying that there are riders on the grid right now that are only good enough, but they're only good enough with the electronics and gadgets and stuff.
Yep.
So, like, basically, they're running the lap times, and they're able to go as fast as they can go because they figured out they could just run it to the stop and let the nanny shit do the thing. And without that shit, they don't got it. They don't have the feel.
But there you go. All different types of riders. That's what makes it so interesting every weekend, and again, whether it's conditions, elements, you see some riders like, let's call it how we saw it when old boy, damn, what's his, he looks like a dirty Elvis.
Jordi Torres.
Jordi Torres? Definitely Jordi Torres, but no, I'm thinking about what's his name. He was on the Ducati last year in Moto America and went back to World Superbike.
Danilo Petrucci.
Come on, yeah. So Petrucci, he and Torres definitely come from that dirty Elvis background. But the point is, all I gotta say, dude, is I've seen old boy when conditions aren't right. Look what he did in Argentina in the rain.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you just get some riders that are just wild, and Marquez, he's the king of the wild. I'm sorry. He's just wild. He's like dirty track. Watch this.
Right.
No,
he's like Rossi was in his prime,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because Rossi was like 2-stroke dude. Right. So.
Yep.
Master of no electronics.
Yeah. Yeah. The guys, Cody again is saying Roberts Jr. said that Kenny Roberts Jr. said that they should go to 1200 cc's with no electronics, and he agrees with them.
Send it.
Dude, 1200. Yeah. I don't know. Roberts Jr. That dude's a character, man. He's like the old cowboy. I saw him at Laguna at one of our Pirelli days that we hosted several years ago, and it was him and his dad and whatever. Like one of my guys one of my staff guys didn't know who the fuck Kenny Roberts was, and actually walked up to him on the grid as he was asking people if they wanted to leave follow. And Roberts Sr. goes, "Dude, I'm Kenny Roberts," and he's like, "Okay."
Nice to meet you, Mr. Roberts.
For the rest of the day, Senior would walk every time he saw me. He's like, "Hey, which one of your guys is gonna show me the way down the corkscrew?" And I'm like, "Fuck, dude." So Junior's telling me he's shared war stories about how the electronic stuff and how factory Honda, anytime, because they were leasing engines or something from Honda at the time.
Yeah.
Anytime they got something, like they got an edge or something like that, he said Honda would come in, download the stuff, and then next thing you know, his stuff would not work anymore, and Nikki's would work instead. It's like, wow, bro.
Oh yeah, anyway, they did not mess around.
Crazy cowboy shit. But that dude still rips.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's you don't. I feel you don't lose the skill. It's just the ambition.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I hear that.
Yep.
Even at our little club racer scumbag level,
Yeah.
So, wow, man. Well, you know what? We're a little bit over an hour.
Yeah.
Ricky-Bobby, any
dude,
words
thank
there?
you so much. Yeah, it was. I was stoked that we could get you on because I was bummed when you're like, yeah, man, because we were gonna have you on after Moss because you had raced there. We are gonna get some Moss war stories from racing the old R9T, and then you're like, bro, I'm not gonna be able to make it because I'm off to Spain, but don't tell anybody. So super stoked we got to have you on. Thanks again for coming out, man.
Yeah, man.
Mutual, very mutual, man. It's an honor, and for sure, keep doing what you guys are doing. It's enhancing so many folks' lives.
So, Ricky-Bobby, when's our next show, dude?
Our next show, we got World Superbike this weekend, dude. So
dude,
we're gonna
it never ends.
Yes.
It never ends.
For anybody that's going to be at Pit Race this weekend or wants to come watch some Armor racing, we got some wild, crazy cats that are going to be up there racing some rickety old bikes. I will be up there on my Daytona 675R.
Yeah.
With my Weekend Hangover dash startup.
Wow.
But yeah, I'll be enjoying myself. Just enjoying some time finally back on the bike,
you, brother.
So.
Yeah, wish I could join you. I gotta save my pennies for Coda next week. It's the final round of Super Hooligan. So
yeah.
This particular weekend, Saturday, I'm doing a training ride with the team, TrackDaz, and we're gonna pedal up Palomar. So that should be fun.
Oh dang!
Awesome.
Oh dang!
Yeah. So we're about 3 weeks out-ish from the tour. We start at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, and go down the Embarcadero, hang a left for 8 days, and we end up at Santa Monica Pier. So should be a good time. I'm raising money for the Arthritis Foundation. There's a link to that in the video's description. Please donate if you can. And thanks for watching this show, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And follow Mr. Kern.
Yeah, follow Mr. Kern. I'll put him in the description too, man.
Yeah.
And where he's at.
Check out the next Kern TrackDaz, man, because I started doing Kern TrackDaz in 2012 every weekend I could at Roebling, and enjoyed it, man. It's always a good time.
Right on.
Thank you, guys.
Right on, man.
Awesome.
And dude, Nate, seriously, man, let's work it out, dude. Let's figure out to get you out to Laguna or something. You come hang with us next year.
Dude, that would absolutely be awesome.
Yeah,
and for sure. Laguna is a track I just need to figure out better. So thank you. Absolutely. I'd like to take you up on that.
Me too. I mean,
drag some cylinders on the corkscrew, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Get a little crazy.
Right on, man.
All right,
you guys.
Thank you.
See you.
See y'all.